Aloha and welcome aboard the newest metro system in the United States, right here in the newest US state. This is Skyline, an automated metro serving Honolulu, the capital of Hawaii, and the south shore of Oahu, the state's most populous island. With an elevated right-of-way, platform screen doors, walk-through trains, and fully driverless operation, it's America's most technologically advanced metro, and it serves a linear population corridor, connecting major residential and commercial centers. It also cost over $10 billion, opened years behind schedule, had multiple construction issues, and still doesn't run into downtown Honolulu. Whether they're fans of it or not, any Hawaii resident will tell you that Skyline is no ordinary mega project. But now that the rail, as locals call it, is coming together, how well does it serve its island? Was automated rail the right choice for Hawaii? And what exactly is chili pepper water? The only way to find out is to go for a ride. But that's easier said than done. Boston, where I live, is 5,000 miles away from Honolulu as the crow flies. It would be shorter for that crow to fly to Bosnia. This is much too far to travel with just my usual backpack. So to make this epic transnational adventure a reality, I've partnered with Level 8, the sponsors of this video, who sent me a piece of their quality luggage to try out on my adventure. This is the 18-inch luminous textured carry-on, which features a durable hard shell, a sturdy handle, and wheels that glide smoothly. There's also a built-in zipper lock to keep your belongings safe, with a code that's easy to reset. Traveling as a content creator with type 1 diabetes means I never travel light, and it's always been a struggle to keep all of my belongings organized on trips. But Level 8 made that easy for me on this trip, with divided zipper compartments inside the suitcase. I used these thin compartments to hold cables and camera gear on my trip, with this larger one for clothing, and this other one for shoes and my Level 8 toiletries bag, which I was sent as a bonus. Inside here are plenty more compartments for toiletries, which I also used to hold all my insulin pump supplies, along with the memory cards I shot on for this trip, just to make sure they made it back safe. The luminous textured carry-on is also available in a 20-inch variant, as well as in several attractive colors. Check out the link in the description to get yours today on Amazon, or check out one of Level 8's other quality pieces of luggage. Level 8, for all your spontaneous trips to Hawaii to go for a train ride, or, any other trip. We begin at Honolulu Airport, which is served directly by the Skyline. A box at the exit allows passengers to dispose of live plants or fresh produce in order to prevent contamination of the Hawaiian environment. We head out to baggage claim to meet some friends. So as always, when I've arrived at a new airport, I try to judge how quickly I can glance about randomly and find a sign taking me to the train. And as is, all I see is signage for ground transport, nothing for Skyline specifically. And these guys are Hawaii locals. Want to introduce yourselves?
I am Luca Kinaberti. I'm a local transit advocate here on Oahu. I'm from the North Shore of Oahu.
I'm Trevor Nagamine. I live in Mililani, and I'm just a guy who likes to ride the bus with Skyline.
And neither of them are going to tell me how to get to Skyline. I have to figure it out entirely from the signage, as per classy well tradition.
I will give you this, though. It's a limited edition polo card.
Oh, awesome!
From the opening of Skyline.
I have to say the signage to Skyline isn't the worst, but it does take some looking, and the walk there takes us through the bowels of the airport's ground level. Apparently there is another way through the parking garage. We're almost to the station when my hosts tell me we need to do something first. Oh, I wonder what it is. It smells so good. This is the real stuff.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you. Oh, wow. A lei is a traditional garland in Hawaiian culture brought to the islands when they were first settled by Polynesian explorers hundreds of years ago. They've been sold at the Honolulu airport as gifts for arriving guests since 1945. Hold on a second, is that a chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a chicken at the airport. Passing a sign for the bus system that sort of inspired Wikipedia, pause for lore, we approach the Skyline Station, a tall and imposing concrete structure. The island of Oahu is located here in the Hawaiian island chain, and it's about 596 square miles in size, or about half of Rhode Island. It's home to roughly 1 million people, about 70% of Hawaii's population, and the city and county of Honolulu take up the entire island. Much of the population lives on the southern coast, creating a nice linear population band, with the heaviest density in downtown Honolulu. Skyline currently starts at Koalakai East Kapolei Station and travels 16 miles east to Kahawiki Middle Street Kalihi Transit Center near the edge of downtown. It'll eventually extend into downtown Honolulu, but they're still working on that. Our airport station is here. Each of Skyline's 13 stations is named both in Olelo Hawaii, the native Hawaiian language, and in English. The English name usually refers to the station's location, but the Hawaiian name comes with deeper meaning. Each station name was chosen by a group of experts and community leaders to, quote, help give voice to the land, further perpetuate the traditions, culture, and history of Hawaii, and help knit the rail project into the cultural and historic fabric of Oahu. The airport station is named Lelepaua, referring to the mother of pearl from the Paua bivalve. This was historically used to make fishing lures and hooks. Lelepaua Station has multiple ticket machines, with several language options including Olelo Hawaii and various Asian and Oceanian languages, but unusually for a US transit system, there's no Spanish. I load up a day pass for $7.50 and tap through the glassy fare gates. So as you can see here in the station, there are no escalators. There's a staircase behind me. It goes up to the platform, and it's a very sort of open air design. Got a little bit of a breeze coming through here, and then there's some elevators here. Unless you count AirTrain JFK, Skyline is the first US metro to feature platform screen doors, which are more common on international systems. Some of these gates are signed for bikes, wheelchairs, or luggage, based on the part of the train they open into. After a few minutes, an eastbound train arrives on the opposite track. Skyline uses a fleet of 24-car train sets from Hitachi, nearly identical to those on some European metros, including Copenhagen. Their car bodies were assembled in Italy, and to meet Buy America requirements, final assembly took place in Pittsburgh, California. This car seems to be glitching slightly. Soon, a train arrives heading west. We'll be riding this up to Halawa Aloha Stadium. Alright, let's see the house. Yes! Let's go! Yep, because Skyline is completely automated, you can see straight out the front of the train. We turn and pass over the edge of the apron, where the viaduct is high enough to give clearance to Hawaiian Airlines wide-body aircraft. Then we turn and head inland, reaching the station for Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. Next to tourism, the military is one of Hawaii's biggest employers, so it makes sense that they get a stop. Up ahead is the once great Aloha Stadium, now partially disassembled, and its corresponding Halawa Station, where we step off.
Yeah. And
Since the Joint Base is nearby, the platform across from us has opaque glass panels to prevent people from seeing too much. Halawa is a park and ride with 600 spaces. It's also served by Oahu's bus system, The Bus, whose displays feature some local iconography. From here, we head out to a very important place. So I'm walking down the Strode here in Oahu, and I just crossed possibly the most terrifying crosswalk if you're in a wheelchair. That has got to be like an insane gradient that you're walking across, and there's the skyline. Eventually, we make it down the Strode to Pearl Harbor National Memorial, commemorating the bombing of Pearl Harbor in December 1941 by Imperial Japan. From here, we can see the USS Missouri, a World War II-era battleship, standing guard over the wreck of the USS Arizona, who went down in the bombing with over 1,000 souls on board. There's also a submarine that dates back to World War II, and a memorial to those lost in submarine warfare. So the missile behind me is built by Chance Vought Aircraft, which, fun fact, also built the original AirTran system at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, which was replaced by the Skylink, which is what I want to keep calling the Skyline. We watch some invasive mynah birds fight over bread, then head back to the rail. Welcome back to Exploring the Strodes of Oahu with Caleb and Luca and Trevor. We are once again at an intersection, and as you can see, there is a crosswalk here and a crosswalk there, and it had a pedestrian signal a bit ago, but there is no crosswalk over there to the massive rapid transit station with automated trains.
you're gonna see that a lot all over Oahu, and it's not different here than in many other places, but again, we have this brand new system, and they have not put in the investment like so many other cities to really improve the pedestrian experience around these stations.
Stations on Skyline have art molded into their columns, reflective of local life, culture, and history. This station is named Halawa after the ahupua'a it sits on. An ahupua'a is a traditional Hawaiian division of land, organized around the flow of water from the mountain to the sea. This was meant to be a fair land division for the island, giving everyone equal access to resources. Next, we'll be taking Skyline from here up to Pahala, Waipahu Transit Center. Our train arrives, and since the FOMR window is taken, we walk through the open gangway train, which features plenty of seats, standing room, wheelchair spaces, and dedicated bike storage. The aisle is plenty wide enough to push my level 8 suitcase. Pearl Harbor stretches to the south, while dense suburbs rise to the north. We pass near the Pearl Ridge Mall, about a 7 minutes walk away from its station, which once had an operating monorail. Crossing Route H1, part of the US Interstate Highway System, we reach the only portion of Skyline that's not in the sky, running at ground level past the system's yard and maintenance facility. When Skyline initially opened from East Kapolei to Aloha Stadium in 2023, it received criticism for not serving more populous locations, but this initial outer segment was chosen first, so that it could include the rail facility. The extension from Aloha Stadium to Kahawiki Middle Street Kalihi Transit Center was added in late 2025, and the remaining 6 stations into downtown Honolulu are currently under construction and slated to open in 2031. We step off at Pohala Waipahu Transit Center, named for a historic fish pond in the area. From here, we can see an abandoned smokestack of the Oahu Sugar Company, rising above the neighborhood. In the 1800s and early 1900s, American businessmen displaced Native Hawaiians from their land in order to run a plantation economy on the islands, centered around sugar, fruits, and the like, importing laborers from East Asia to grow and harvest the crops. Eventually, these business interests would be one of the reasons Hawaii was annexed by the United States. Laws passed in 1896 banned the use of the Hawaiian language in public schools, with strict punishments for students caught speaking it, and over the following generations, fewer and fewer spoke the language. Today, UNESCO classifies it as critically endangered. Nevertheless, there has been a concerted movement to preserve Hawaiian language and culture over the last several decades. That's why it's so important to have Hawaiian names across the Skyline system. They integrate Olelo Hawaii into the everyday reality of rapid transit. And to explore Hawaiian culture further, I'm heading to Highway Inn for lunch, where I order a sampler plate of traditional and modern Hawaiian foods. There's poi, mashed taro root, squid luau, squid with taro leaves and coconut milk, chicken long rice with mung bean noodles, kalua slow roasted pig, lomi salmon with tomato, lau lau chicken and bonefish wrapped in luau leaves, uala sweet potato, and haupia coconut custard.
So they came out and gave me this thing called chili pepper water. I have never heard of it before, but apparently it's like some bits of chili pepper in water. So do you put it on the pork?
Just a little bit.
Oh,
That's more than I was hoping, but
okay. Apparently you're not supposed to unscrew the cap. There's like a little pop top, like with ketchup, but it's chili pepper water. A little more kick there. It's pretty good. I get it now. Chili pepper water. We need this on the mainland.
Check out my Patreon to see me make my very own chili pepper water. Out behind the restaurant is the Waipahu Transit Center, served by several the bus routes. On the other side of the train station, there's another unfinished entrance, which wasn't completed with the initial segment, but includes an elevator and staircase, future-proofing it for future development. Back on the platform, another train arrives. We are now headed west to the end of the line at Kualakai, East Kapolei. Skyline trains top out at 50 miles an hour. Ours tends to shake side to side as we speed along. Rapid transit for Honolulu was considered for decades, before ground was broken in 2011, with the entire system planned for completion around 2020, funded by federal grants and local taxes. However, numerous delays plagued the project, including issues with the trains and structures, land acquisition struggles, and prolonged legal battles, and as of right now, the downtown Honolulu section of the line still has yet to open. Per Honolulu Civil Beat, the cost of the rail ballooned from $5.2 billion in 2011 to $10 billion in 2025, due in part to higher than expected land acquisition costs. Needless to say, the system's price tag and opening timeline have drawn plenty of criticism from locals, who point to the rail's low ridership numbers. Proponents of the system will argue that ridership is growing. Indeed, it has reached 10,000 riders per month this spring, driven in no small part by the airport extension. And that's before going downtown. Now, of course, I can't fly all the way to Hawaii and not go to the beach, so we head out of the station in search of sea and sand.
All right, welcome back to the Great Stroads of Oahu.
It's one of our newest roads. They built it in the last 20 years.
What?
Crossing 6 lanes of traffic to where they plan to build an additional park and ride for the station, we reach a bus shelter. We'll be taking the Sea Country Express up to Ma'ili Beach Park.
It is worth noting that when I said Sea Country Express in the voiceover, there is an actual exclamation point as part of the branding.
Soon the bus arrives, and we begin our trip, winding through Kapolei, briefly riding up the highway and hugging the island's west coast. It's worth noting that as of 2017, the bus was the most heavily used public transportation system per capita in the United States. It operates routes all across Oahu, along with a paratransit system called the Handy Van. Stepping out of the bus, not to be confused with the our bus, seen here, we head to the ocean, where I park my level 8 suitcase at the top of the beach.
I hope the camera is capturing just how beautifully blue the water is. Whew. Oh, that feels so nice. Okay, that's enough sea foam. Now for some actual transit foaming. Okay, I think the ocean wants me back.
Now we're on our way back to the rail. Returning south, we pass what's left of the narrow-gauge Oahu Railway, which transported sugar and passengers all around Oahu. The Navy used a bit of it until 1970, and now most of the system is abandoned, although a small section is a tourist railway that isn't open today. We make a stop for Costco hot dogs, still $1.50 here, then we reach Kionei Station, named for a fishing village that once sat nearby, which now serves the University of Hawaii West Oahu. It sports a 304-space park and ride, with plans to build up to 1,000 spaces. From here, we're making a straight shot to Kahawiki Middle Street Kalihi Transit Center, the closest station to downtown. Out here on the west of the line, there are a lot of open fields, with limited development, but that's already changing, with housing and commercial units under construction, and more planned for the future. Many quality walkable neighborhoods on the mainland were formed around streetcar or metro lines, places like Media, Pennsylvania, or the 7-train corridor in Queens. So maybe the same will happen here in Hawaii. We cruise back down the line, past all the locations we visited before, through the airport, and towards downtown, before stopping at Kahawiki Station, the present end of the line. Backtracking one stop to Ahua Lagoon Drive, we catch the W, one of the bus's Landline Express buses, which will take us through town to the Ala Moana Center Mall. Along the way, we pass construction for Skyline's downtown segment, which will serve 6 new stations in the Hawaiian capital. Eventually, the plan is for Skyline to extend further to the Ala Moana Center, America's largest outdoor shopping mall, but this section has yet to obtain funding or break ground. Skyline has had its fair share of critics. People who say it was too expensive, people who say no commuters ride it, people who say the parking lots are too small for all the commuters, the list goes on. It's the largest mega project in Hawaiian history, so of course it's going to be polarizing. I'm not from Hawaii, and I don't want to pretend to know what's best for Oahu residents. But as a transit buff from the mainland who flew out here just to ride Skyline, I do have some personal thoughts. First of all, I think it's really cool that Honolulu bucked the trend and built a brand new automated metro instead of light rail. That doesn't happen very often in the US anymore. While light rail isn't bad per se, smaller trains with median running sections aren't going to provide nearly the speed or capacity advantages that a metro does. So it's great that Hawaii avoided this problem. Still, fundamentally, a transit system's performance has everything to do with its environment, and when it comes to Oahu, I have reasons to feel hopeful and cautious. Like most parts of the United States, much of urban Oahu was designed around the automobile, which presents a challenge for a fledgling rail system. You can't just plop down tracks and expect people to ride. But there are plans for transit-oriented development all along the line, especially in the west, which will hopefully create an environment that takes advantage of the rail. Skyline also serves 2 colleges, a military base, and the state's largest airport. Soon it'll be in downtown Honolulu as well. Plans and speculations abound for expansions to the University of Hawaii's main campus and Waikiki Beach, as well as west into central Kapolei, all of which could draw strong ridership. And once the rail is in place and people understand its benefits, it may be easier to convince taxpayers to fund further mileage. Regardless, I think Skyline is something Hawaii can be proud of, and I hope it will be a powerful tool for person-centered development in the decades to come. I certainly enjoyed riding it and learning about the unique world that surrounds it, and I can't wait to come back and see it when it's all done. In the meantime, special thanks to Level 8 for sponsoring this special trip, and a huge mahalo to all of my Hawaiian friends who showed up, showed me around, and helped me write this script. And now that I've ridden Skyline, I've officially been on every metro system in the US, just in time for the Buy-and-a-Half Centennial. Next week, I'm going to review and rank them all, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and take care until the next one.